Hello students, welcome to the second part or lecture part of Fundamental of Automotive Electronics, Sensor, Actuator and Processor. Myself, Shankho Ghosh, Assistant Professor of Automobile Engineering Department at Dr. Sudhir Chandra Sur Degree Engineering College under JIS Group. In the previous class, we will discuss about the automotive electronics control unit, sensor and various types of sensor. In today, we will continue the rest of the sensor types, then go for the various types of actuators and their applications and their so these are the objects students can learn from here. They can easily identify the various types of actuators, sensor those are using in the vehicle and knowing their functions. So students, start the today's class on the topics of fundamental of automotive electronics, sensors, actuators, processor, which is the module number 3 of vehicle operation and control. This is the subject of another subject of modern vehicle technology, which is the 7th semester automobile engineering students syllabus. Subject code is AUE 704B. So, student, let's start the today's class. In the yesterday, we will discuss the sensor type of engine sensor and vehicle and speed sensor. Today we will discuss on the vehicle sensor. There are the various types of vehicle sensor. That is the rain sensor, parking sensor, thermostat sensor, oil sensor, fuel gauge sensor, radar gun sensor, and the water sensor. So students, let's start with this rain sensor. Rain sensor, automotive rain sensor detect rain falling on the windshield of the vehicle. One of more common rain sensor implementation employ an infrared light that is beamed at a 45-degree angle. Onto the windshield from the inside the car. If the glass is wet, less light makes it back to the sensor and the wipers run on. Here is the picture of the rain sensor. This is the windshield. When dry grass reflect more back to the receptor, but when it is wet, the light emits from these diodes and it reflects in this way, which is here is the light emitted diode, this is the processor, and here is the light receptor. When the windshield is dry, the light is just emitted. When it is wetted, it is received by the light receptor, and when light receptor is received, then the wiper is on. Here is the symbol of rain sensor. If we can see on the dashboard that their dashboard a symbol looks like this, it means the vehicle has a rain sensor. Next is parking sensor. The parking sensor are proximity sensors for road vehicle which can alert the drivers to unseen obstacle to drive which can alert the driver to unseen obstacle during the parking maneuvers. The ultrasonic sensor are currently available in several brands of car. Some systems are also available as additional upgraded kits for the later installation. Here is the picture shows the parking sensor radiation, which easily sends the driver's unseen obstacle during the parking. Next is thermostat sensor. The thermostat sensor is located near the evaporator coils. The thermostat sensor is located near the evaporated coil. These coils are inside your air conditioner unit. These coils are inside your air conditioner unit. As the air is sucked through the return vent, the air passes by the sensor and the coil. As the air passes the sensor, it reads the temperature and compare that reading to the setting on your thermostat. If air is warmer than your desired setting, the sensor will activate the compressor, or in the other words, begin to cool the inside of the building. It also works in reverse. If the air passing the sensor is lower or at the same temperature set on your thermostat, if this happens, it will shut off the compressor. This is the main function of this thermostat sensor. So basically this sensor is placed inside the AC unit on a evaporated coil. When air is passes through this sensor or the coil, if it senses that passing air is heated, which is compared to the heat set on the thermostat, then compressor on, thermostat valves on, and when it is lower than the setting temperature at the thermostat, then compressor is off. So this is the work function of the thermostat sensor. Next is oil sensor. Oil sensor and oil analyzer are used in automotive or industrial machinery application to sense oil levels and check for the contamination, particulate, viscosity and the temperature. So oil sensor or oil analyzer is used in this automotive or the industrial machinery to sense the oil level, and besides this it also check for the contamination of the oil, particulates presence in the oil, the viscosity of the oil and the temperature of the oil. The oil sensor and the oil analyzer are also known as ferrography instruments. Next is fuel gauge sensor. A fuel gauge is an instrument. Used to indicate the level of fuel contained in a tank. As used in car, the gauge consists of two parts. One is sensing unit, second one is indicator. Sensing unit sense there is fuel or not, and the indicator unit indicates the how much of fuel is there, So this is the function of the fuel gauge sensing. Next one is radar gun sensor. Next is radar gun sensor. This is also known as the radar gun or the speed gun. This is a device which is used to measure the speed of the moving object. This is a device which is basically used to measure the speed of the moving object. It is used in law enforcement to measure the speed. It is used in the law enforcement. To measure the speed of moving vehicle. And is often used in professional spectator sport for things such as the measurement of blowing speed in cricket, speed of pitched baseball, athletics, and the tennis serves. A radar gun is a Doppler radar unit that may be handheld, vehicle mounted, or static. It measures the speed of the object at which it is pointed by detecting a change in frequency of the return radar signal caused by the Doppler effect, whereby the frequency of the return signal is increased in proportion to the object speed of approach if the object is approaching, and lowered if the object is receding. Such devices are frequently used for speed limit enforcement, although more modern LiDAR speed gun instrument, which use pulse laser light instead of radar, began to replace radar gun during the first decades of the 21st century because of limitation associated with the small radar system. Next is water temperature sensor. The water temperature sensor enables the control unit to identify engine overheating or an unusual rise in temperature. Depending on the car manufacturers, it is usually installed next to the thermostat or inside it. There are two temperature sensors. In some vehicles. One to send information from the engine system to the control unit. There are two temperature sensors in some vehicles. One to send information from the engine system to the control unit, and another from the control unit to the dashboard. The device follows the principle of dependence. Of potential difference in temperature. As the temperature of the engine changes, the potential difference output of the device also changes, and this can be measured by the engine's control unit. And this can be measured by the engine's control unit. This is the water temperature sensor. Next is comes to the actuator. Actuator are final control elements from the junction between the electronic signal processor and actual process. That means actuators from the junction between the electronic signal process means data processing and the actual process means mechanical motion. They convert the low power signals conveying the positioning information into operating signal of an energy level adequate for process control. Signal converters are combined. The signal converters are combined with amplifier element to exploit the physical transformation principles. Exploit the physical transformation principle governing the interrelationship in between the various form of energy. That means electrical, mechanical, fluid and the thermal. So this is the function of these actuators. These senders and actuators are the unsung hero of the automobile world. The sensor and the actuator are the unsung hero of the automobile world. These devices perform the most of the maintenance function. These devices perform most of the maintenance functions for car, including communicating the system status to the car's onboard computer, monitoring speed, and calculating the engine time. These devices have several types that perform unique function, with some dependent on crystal vibration while other work with magnetism to correctly calibrate the automobile instrumentation. Now coming to the types of the actuator. Basically, actuator is classified according to the working basis. That is pneumatic, hydraulic, and electrical or the electronics. So let's start with this pneumatic actuator. A set of device into which one or more pneumo engines which are determined to start mechanism or some other objects by means of pressed working gas is called pneumatic actuator or pneumo actuator. These devices intended for the transformation of potential and the kinetic energy of the steam of compressed gas in mechanical energy of the output lane that can be. For an example, a rod of piston, a shaft of the turbine, or the case of jet device, it's called pneumatic engine of the automated actuator. They are devices providing power or motion to automated system, mechanisms and the processes. A pneumatic cylinder is a simple low cost. A pneumatic cylinder is a simple low cost easy to install device that is ideal for the producing the powerful linear movement. The pneumatic actuators are made in wide variety of size, style and type, including the following. Basically, wide variety of there are various number of pneumatic actuators which is widely variety of sizes, stylish and the types. Basically, the pneumatic actuator is including into two types, that is the single acting with or without spring return, single acting with spring return, or the single acting without spring return, and the double acting. Single acting means single acting cylinders have a power stroke in one direction only. Here is the picture of single acting cylinder with spring. This is the pressure port, this is the piston, this is the rod, this is the piston, spring, and here is the vent port. When pressure is entered here, it apply on the force. The force applied when pressure is entered in this area, the force is applied on this area, on the area of this piston, and it moves towards the left side. Just compression of the spring, that's due to compression of the spring during the extension stroke. This is the extension stroke. When it is returned, just according to the principle of the spring, when a spring is extend, the piston is moves the left side, that is called the return stroke. So this is the single acting cylinder with a spring system. Next one is double acting cylinder. Double acting cylinder are compressed air. The double acting cylinder are compressed air to power both the outstroke and the instroke. Double acting cylinder are cylinder use compressed air to power the both, that is outstroke and that is instroke. Superior speed control is possible here. Non-fusionable cylinder are suitable for full stroke working at the low speed. Higher speed with the external cushion. As I say in this picture, if I discuss about the extension stroke, when the pump is flow, pressure is acting on the piston is moved toward the right side. So this is the extension stroke. When the return flow is open, when this valve is used for the pump flow, and it creates a force on the back side of this piston, and it moves toward the left side, then it is called the return stroke, and then that time this is the way of the return flow. So this is the double acting cylinder, just because of it's acted on the both sides. It's the outstroke, in stroke and the outstroke. This hydraulic actuator. A hydraulic drive system is a drive or transmission system that use pressurized hydraulic fluid to drive the hydraulic machinery. The term hydraulic actuator refers to as a device which is controlled by the hydraulic. A familiar example of a manual a familiar example of a manually operated hydraulic actuator is a hydraulic car jack. Typically, though, the principle used in the hydraulic actuator system. How it is work? Hydraulic actuator or hydraulic cylinder typically involve a hollow cylinder which is having a piston inserted in it. An unbalanced pressure applied to the piston provided force. An unbalanced pressure applied to the piston provides the force that can be move an external object. Since liquids and are nearly incompressible, a hydraulic cylinder can provide controlled, precise linear displacement of the piston. The displacement is only along the axis of the piston. The piston forms sealed, variable volume chamber in the cylinder. System fluid forced into the chamber drives the piston and rod assembly. Linear movement is produced. Here is the parts of this typical cylinder. This is the rod mount and this is the base mount. So there is a two mount, one is base mount, one is rod mount. Here is the base port and this is the rod port, and this is the tube of the barrel. This is the shaft. This is the piston seal. This is the piston nut. Here is the O-ring and the backup, the rod seal and the rod wiper. So this is the basic structure of the typical cylinder. The cylinders are typically classified on the operating on the principle by the construction type, that is a single acting and the double acting. Single acting cylinder, as I discussed earlier, it is a cylinder which exerts force either on exertion or the retraction. They require outside force to complete the second motion. Both are in the one acting, that is the extension stroke and the return stroke. For the return stroke, there is a spring which helps to the return stroke. Next is the double acting cylinder, which is same. For the double acting cylinder is generate force for the both the extension and the retraction. The direction control valve alternatively directs fluid to opposite side of the piston. Force output vary in between the extension and the retraction. Here is the picture of this extension stroke and this is the picture of the retraction or the return stroke. Both are in the one cylinder. So that's why it is known as a double acting cylinder. Now coming to the electrical actuator. An electrical motor is an transducer and an actuator because it converts electrical current into large magnetic field, which then turn as shaft, that is mechanical energy. All electric motors use electromagnetic induction to generate a force on a rotational element which is called the rotor. The torque required to rotor the torque required to rotate the rotor, which is created due to the interaction of magnetic field. Due to the interaction of the magnetic field generated by the rotor and the part surrounding it, which is fixed. That is called the stator. Electrically actuated systems are very widely used in the control system. There are three types of motor which is used in this control system, that is the DC motor, AC motor, a stepper motor. Besides this, there is another type, that is the permanent magnetic type motor, variable reluctance type, and the hybrid type. So students, this is the automobile. This is the fundamental of automotive electronics, sensors, actuators, and processes. So in this section we'll can discuss the various things, and student you can easily understand about the ECU and its working, and you can easily understand about the sensor. There are various types of sensor and their uses and their position. Then you can easily understand the actuators and the various types of actuators and data. So students, this is the fundamentals of electronics, sensors, processors, and actuators. On the next class, we'll discuss on a new topic. So till then, stay at home, stay safe. Thank you so much, students.